broadcasting across the nation from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, Technology news of the week, the show for the everyday person talking about news of the week, the show for the everyday person about technology, broadcasting across the nation with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We welcome our radio audience of 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology news. Why you should listen to our show? Because we cover the top technology subjects without a political agenda, verify the facts, and do it with a sense of humor in less than 60 minutes. And of course, with a little whiskey on the side. I'm Nathan Mumm. Welcome to our show today. We live stream during our show on 5 of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch.tv, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We encourage you to watch us live or visit us online at TechTimeRadio.com. Tweet us during the show at hashtag TechTimeRadio. We'll do our best to respond to the tweets on the air. If you enjoy the show, make sure you give it a 5-star review in Apple, iTunes, or Spotify to help us climb the radio podcast charts. I'm your host of Technology with over 30 years of technology expertise working for Fortune 500 companies across the country. My co-host here, Mike Corday, is an award-winning author originally from Arizona. Mike's a human behavior expert living in the Seattle area with a master's degree in forensic psychology. Mike helps keep me from geeking out while providing insight into human behavior and how it interacts with technology. We are two friends from different backgrounds, but bring the best technology show possible every week for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. You ready to start off 2023 here, Mr. Gorday?
Yeah, let's get it.
All right, let's start today's show.
Now on today's show.
All right, today on Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, facial recognition tools lead to another mistaken arrest. We're going to be talking about that. You're going to be talking about that again.
Yeah.
You just love facial recognition tools, don't you?
Facial recognition.
That's right. All right. And this year's 2023 CES looks like a flashy CES, very familiar to those over the past decades that have been there. Everybody's seeming to come back out from COVID, and we're going to be talking a little bit about what to expect.
It's going to be better than last year's where only like 3 people showed up?
Yes, it is packed. You have all the big names back. They have a whole bunch of product releases that they already are starting to get on out there, so we're going to be talking about that. And then we have our Tech Time 2023 predictions show. We're going to take a look back at how we predicted 2022. There's going to be a theme here. Somebody's very optimistic on technology, and someone's a little pessimistic about technology. And we'll see what actually happens when we go back and review the tape from last year.
Okay.
And then we're going to be talking about Twitter. Twitter is in trouble with data protection probe of over 400 million user details up for sale on the dark web. This is interesting. We're going to talk about this. I actually took a look. There's different prices that could be available for stuff, so we're going to look into that too. In addition, we have, of course, our standard features, including Mike's mesmerizing moment, This Week in Technology, and a possible Nathan Nugget. As always, we have our pick of the day whiskey tasting during the commercials to see if our selected whiskey pick of the day gets 0, 1, or 2 thumbs up at the end of the show. So sit back, raise a glass, and welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Now it's time for the latest headlines in the world of technology.
What's happening in the world of technology? This is our top stories in the first 5 minutes.
All right, story number 1. It's the largest trade show for consumer electronics and video game systems in the world, and it's called CES, and it starts January 6th and runs through January 8th in Las Vegas. Let's get a preview of the upcoming week and what they'll be covering at the show.
CES 2023 is January 5th through 8th in Las Vegas, the world's most influential tech event.
It's exciting. We're leading up to one of the most important events, I think, in the world in terms of technology and innovation and people doing things for the future of mankind. It's really great.
All right, so CES is back. So they have now CES has kind of developed a different tone and a little look and feel. So They have now days for press to come, which they've always had. Normally it was a day before. Now they have press allowed to come 2 days before the actual event itself. Mm-hmm. Then they have kind of this high-end show preview where they invite VPs and celebrities, and then they open up the floor for essentially everybody to come on in to be a part of these type of deals. So they kind of are making it more of a red carpet event. Well, everybody's excited. The big box retailers will be looking for their next products to fill their shelves as tens of thousands of tech enthusiasts try to take a look at what's next in this year's 2023 version of the flashy CES. Well, you know what? You're not going to have only the limitations of being there on site. With the post-COVID and the pandemic process, essentially they will have live streams of all of their major presentations, and they will have vendor collecting information for all of those that have signed up for the online services also. So we're not there.
Just buy that from Twitter.
Well, you could get those from other social media sites too. You could, or you could buy it on the dark web. But essentially what's happened is now they have all these streams and they have this process for you to set up interviews with booth. I am not there this year for CES. I will absolutely be there next year. That's a commitment that I'm going to be doing. But I signed up for the
last
online.
Year, right?
Yeah. So, but what I will be here is I'll be able to get all of the online information and a whole bunch of one-on-one interviews that people are setting on up so that we can still do the best of the best for our CES as we do for each of our Tech Time shows. So in the next 2 weeks, I will be interviewing tons of people on their new products, making sure they actually work, because a lot of times at CES, this is these big ideas of what people have, and sometimes the actual items don't actually prosper. It's kind of like a Kickstarter campaign. You don't know if it's really going to happen or not, but it's very interesting to take a look at. But these are the 3 questions that I go into CES with that I'm hoping to get for all of our listeners. Mm-hmm. Number 1, is there actually going to have anybody that has a grasp on the metaverse? That is what I'm looking at. Is there any company out there besides Facebook, or is it Facebook? Or is it still just a fantasy idea from the Tron movie in 1982 with Jeff Bridges about this whole virtual reality? Because everybody talks about it, but there's very little that has come to on the standard consumer side of items.
So do you think this is sort of like the way the internet happened, that we still have a small amount of information about what the internet actually is, and there's this whole big... I don't think
very many people are in the metaverse right now at all.
Well, no, we already know that.
So I think it's kind of a dead idea. I think it's a nice idea to have this virtual reality. I actually think Apple, and we'll be talking about this a little bit in our prediction show, I actually think Apple's got the right idea for virtual reality, and I think Facebook is completely off the mark.
Okay.
So then essentially, Apple is spending their time on augmented reality. So you have like a glasses on, or you have like your iPhone and you put it on up and you see the world as it is in a standard picture, but you get information within that environment. So let's take a look. Like I got my phone and I'm scanning across the room and I see a trash bin and I need to replace it or something like that. It may tell me where I can buy liners, or it may come on up with information that's helpful. I think that's more of our future than this whole universe where I put a goggle set on, Ready Player One, and I'm in a completely different reality.
Yeah. Next thing you know, it'll be Minority Report and you'll be running around with eye flashes.
Okay. My number 2 thing I'm going to be asking people here at CES is, will AI start to automate valuable things for everyday life?
Like what?
Well, so AI is really good for vacuuming, right? So they have that kind of the Roomba vacuum system.
Yeah, I have
AI, one. You have one of those. And do you like it?
It's one of my favorite things.
Okay. So it's great, right? I have one of those too at my house. It's fantastic. It cleans up. It takes care of stuff. So that's a good use of AI that can take a look and see structures that are available to sweep around. But they have a whole bunch of these things for toilets and for different items that we've talked about on this Best of CES that really don't bring any value in the overall arching environment. I mean, I heard about a new CES invention that's going to make you laugh, and it's a CES woman's hair dryer that essentially you put kind of one of those things that you go around your head. And so instead of you having to have a blow dryer for your head, it will know exactly the perfect settings to dry your hair while you're still busy putting on makeup and other items. And they're like, oh, that's the best AI use of all. And I'm like, that's like something that's been around for 10 or 15 years if you just do one of those salons where they actually have those things that dry your hair. So I don't know how those things are great.
I don't even know if they have those anymore. Those were really popular in the 50s and 60s.
I think they still have them for women's salons. If you go on in there, to dry off your hair.
Well, I wouldn't know.
Not that I need one either
I'm bald,
myself.
so.
And number 3, will we get flying vehicles? I'm going to talk about this in our prediction show.
No.
Okay, you say no. You keep on saying no, and we're going to talk about that because we have drones. Drones have now been around for a good 15 years, but they were showed off at CES. 15 years ago is when they showed off the first drone at CES. Now they're pretty common. Everybody has a drone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now, are we going to be able to move into a flying vehicle? Now, I'm not talking about a car yet, but just a vehicle that I can get into, like a bike or something that I can...
You can get an ultralight or a gyrocopter. Those exist.
Those exist, and there's a whole bunch of other companies that are coming out with stuff.
There's all kinds of concept flying cars.
I want something mainstream,
there.
though. It needs to come out from a company, not some in the backwoods LA venture capitalist startup idea. I want somebody mainstream to get one. All right, story number 2, Mike.
Well, once again, facial recognition tools have led to another mistaken arrest. This time, Louisiana authorities' use of facial recognition technology led to the mistaken identity and arrest of a Georgia man on a fugitive warrant, meaning that he was in Georgia at the time.
Okay.
Randall Reed, 28, was jailed in late November in DeKalb County, Georgia. His attorney, Tommy Calagero, said authorities erroneously linked Reed to purse thefts in Jefferson Parish in Baton Rouge, and he was arrested on November the 25th, but he was then released on December the 1st.
Okay.
His arrest brings, again, the attention to the use of technology that critics say results in a higher rate of misidentification of people of color than of white people, which we have talked about many, many times on the show.
Yep.
Reed said that when they told him about the warrant in Jefferson Parish, he was dumbfounded because he had never been in Louisiana and didn't steal things. So, whatever.
Okay.
So Calagaro said Reed was falsely linked to the June theft of luxury purses from a consignment shop in Metairie, a New Orleans suburb in Jefferson Parish. Baton Rouge Police Department detective then adopted the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office's identification of Reed to secure an arrest warrant, alleging that he was among 3 men involved in another luxury purse theft that same week. Differences, such as a mole on Reed's face, prompted the Jefferson sheriff to finally rescind the warrant, who estimated a 40-pound difference between Reed and the purse thief in the surveillance footage.
That's a pretty big. 40 pounds is kind of a big.
We've talked about this so many times.
So you got a mole on your face, and you're 40 pounds heavier, so you either just really went on a binging fiasco immediately or lighter, either way.
Yep, that's the way it goes. Jefferson Sheriff Joe Lapinto's office did not respond to requests for information on Reed's arrest and release, or the agency's use of facial recognition or any safeguards around it.
That kind of surprises you, huh? No comment.
No comment. I mean, this is something that we've talked about. We see it, and it's going to continue to happen,
especially in the African American society. They have a real hard time facial recognition of adopting.
We've seen this all across the board.
Yeah,
a lot of it depends on who's programming the facial recognition.
Yeah.
A lot of it depends on how the facial recognition is being used to identify the person and the AI involved.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And we all...
And everybody uses the open source AI, which isn't great. So
no, but even we've talked about many stories about how AI has created situations where there's a lot of racism and or misidentifications of persons.
So we should
like when we did that picture thing.
Yeah, when we did it ourselves.
And
we tested everything.
We tested everything.
And your picture came out with somebody completely different.
All these pictures, came up of me that aren't me.
So should the police and other individuals be using facial recognition for affirming arrests or any item to that extent?
That's a hard question to answer because it's a very complicated system. They use polygraphs, but polygraphs are not admissible as evidence. They can use a polygraph to help as a tool in an investigation.
Okay.
So, they're using the facial recognition in the same way. The problem here is that they use the facial recognition software to ID the fellow to establish a warrant to have him arrested when it was not him. And that's
so that should have a lawsuit.
So
hopefully,
there's a lot of tools that law officers use in an investigation, but really they have to. They can't rely on some of these things that especially that continue to show up as giving them
a negative result. Yep. All right, story number 3. Twitter has 400 million, that's right, 400 million user details up for sale on the dark web. Let's go to our over-the-pond correspondent to get an update on the findings.
More than 400 million personal data of Twitter users are currently for sale on the black market of the dark web. Hudson Rock discovered a credible threat actor is selling 400 million Twitter users' data. The private database contains devastating amounts of information, including emails and phone numbers of high-profile users such as AOC, Kevin O'Leary, and many, many more.
All right, so here we got the hacker, Ryushi. No, it's Ryushi. I actually looked it up. So Ryu, which is easy to remember because sushi I can eat. Ryu is like Capcom.
Are you serious?
I actually spent a lot of time. Yep, Ryushi is the name. Is demanding $200,000 to hand over the data reported that it includes some celebrities so that he can actually delete it. Ryushi has said that he exploited a problem with the system that lets computer programs connect with Twitter to compile data. Ireland's Data Protection Commission, DPC, says it will examine Twitter's compliance with data protection law in relation to the security issue. The data includes phone numbers and emails, including those belonging to celebrities and politicians. And only a small sample so far has been made available to the public. The Guardian reported that the data to the U.S. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was included. Ocasio, thank you. Cortez.
You can say, never mind.
AOC. Was included in the sample of data published by the hacker. The data of broadcast Piers Morgan, you know him, he's kind of a big guy, okay, and others who recently had their Twitter's accounts hacked are also reported to be included. So in this list right here, they have Donald Trump's information. They have some, not that you really care about Donald Trump tweets, but they have a lot of political individuals and tons of celebrities. So I'm sure you got tons of stuff with the Kardashians. I'm sure you got tons of stuff other places that will be included in this hack. Twitter so far has not responded to any press inquiries about the claimed breach. Chief Executive Elon Musk did not reply to a tweet request for comments from the leading cybersecurity reporter Brian Krebs. Through the breach, Krebs noted probably occurred before the Tesla boss took over. So this breach probably happened, 5 to 6 months ago. The user's been sitting on the data, and therefore it'll come on up at a later time. Cybercrime intelligence company Hudson Rock was the first to raise the alarm about the data sale. Now, Hudson Rock is a very good cybersecurity company, not like FireEye. So if you need anything to be taken care of, Hudson Rock is there for you.
You play with so much fire. I'm surprised you haven't had a skin grab.
Well, acknowledging the amount of data taken had not been verified, the firm's chief technology officer told the BBC a number of clues appear to support the hacker's claim. The first was the hackers aim to sell the database through an escrow service that is offered on a cybercrime forum. Typically, this is only done for real offerings. So an escrow company, let's talk about this on the dark web. There's 3 or 4 major escrow companies. And an escrow company, to actually get data and be a part in the dark web, have to verify and collaborate that the actual information that they're going to be taking care of in the escrow service is valid and taken care of. So the first part about it, having this escrow service validate the information, means that it's most likely 100% available for purchase and that it is legitimate data that's available. A dark web escrow service is a third party that agrees to release funds only when certain conditions are met, such as handing over data and payments being fully secured. All right, well, that ends our top stories in the first 5 minutes. Moving on, we're going to get ready for our TechTime's 2023 prediction show, where we predict the future of technology. You also will not want to miss this next segment, as we will take a look back at 2022's predictions and see how Mike and myself did predicting the future. Hey, Mike, I'm looking for some help writing our blog post for TechTime Radio.
Well, you should try Phosphor AI. It's an online service that will save you hours of work with your content creation. Simply type in your title, and their AI software will get to work writing a high-quality original article for you. You'll need to review the article and take 15 to 20 minutes to make necessary edits before publishing, but you'll get free articles just for signing up, so you can try out the service and see how it works for you.
How many articles do I get free?
I already said you get 3 free articles. You should listen when I'm talking to you. Phosphor AI pricing is very reasonable for the quality of content that you'll get.
Why waste time writing the content yourself when you get Phosphor AI to do it for you? Visit them online today at Phosphor AI. Again, that's PHOSPHORAI.com. Welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Tech Time Radio is a weekly hour technology show that talks about current technology in a simple format without having to geek out. Brought to you by myself, Nathan Mumm, and Mike Day. We just had our first whiskey tasting during the break, and now let me tell you about what we're sipping in our pick of the day. During the show today, we have chosen the George Dickel Bourbon, 90 proof, $33.95 according to their website. Dickel Bourbon is handcrafted small batch bourbon from Tennessee that has been aged 8 years and blended to perfection. The liquid boasts sweet initial notes of vanilla leading into bright hints of cherry and orange before being balanced with almond toffee and oak. Now, I don't know if I taste the orange. I don't know if I taste the cherry or the almond and oak, but what do you think so far of the George Dickel Bourbon?
It's tasty.
It's $33.95, not too bad. I wouldn't say it's
It's tasty.
It's tasty. Okay.
It's tasty.
So you're kind of liking it, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, so far.
Okay, all right, well, that's good. It is 84% corn, 8% rye, and 8% malted barley, and it is 90 proof. It is distilled by the company George A. Dickel and Company, so it's not like a offshore where they ship it out to have somebody else actually bottle it or take care of it. It's done. I'm actually kind of enjoying it now. I didn't quite like the first bitter taste of it, but now, it's kind of smooth as it's sitting there for a little bit.
Got a good initial taste, then it's got a good finish. It does have a little bit of a bite to it.
It does, but as we air it out, maybe it'll be a little bit more relaxed. All right, well, now that we got through our whiskey, we're going to move on to our Season 5. We are starting out Season 5 with a bang, and we're going to be taking a look at last year's predictions and looking back at those facts.
Just the facts, man.
All right, so I had to go back through January's episode and take a look at all the audio that we have. And boy, you know what? I tell you this. Mm-hmm. When we are passionate about something, we drag that sucker on for a good 5 minutes about how we feel about something. When we're not very passionate about it, it's done in literally 30 seconds. So we're going to take
that's the way everything is.
Yeah, that is kind of it. So we're going to take a look at part 1. We're going to take a look back at some of our predictions that we had, and then we're going to come back and start making some predictions for 2023.
Okay.
Looking at items for 2022. The company called Meta, will it release Instagram for children?
Yes.
I'm going to have to agree with you on that, too. I think by the end of 2022, there will be an Instagram for children. Will Facebook still be the dominant social media site as it is today?
Yeah, I think so.
I do, too. I would agree.
I don't.
It's not going anywhere.
I don't think
is
it's
such
going
a
anywhere.
juggernaut. The next question following up with Meta. Will Meta be sued in the upcoming year?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Will Amazon be unionized?
No.
No. Okay. I think Amazon absolutely will be unionized.
Portions of Amazon will be unionized, but not Amazon.
All right. Will any major technology company other than Amazon be unionized?
I'm going to say no.
You say no? I'm going to say yes. All right.
Is that it?
Yeah, those are the first parts that we got through. We got a second part that we're going to come on back to. So there you go. Just the facts. So far, Mr. Gourdet, you seem to be leading in the just the facts area there. So we're going to ask some questions.
Yeah, and you're putting it to natural pessimism, huh? Is that it?
Well, I don't know. Let's take a look. Here we got question number 1. With models like ChatGPT driving the cost and time required to write effective SEO content down to zero, will Google search still be the dominant search engine for the internet a year from today?
Yes.
You say yes, and why is that?
That's because despite what this Chat GPT may be able to do, human beings are what they are, and Google is known. They're comfortable with it, and it's not likely to change anytime soon.
All right, I'm going to say that Google will remain the dominant search also, so I will agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that they're going to change their chat service to be much more like ChatGPT, where it'll be more conversationalist than it will be just a search algorithm. So I think they already have what is in the market right now that we're seeing as this brand new technology. I believe they have it in an incubator ready to go, and they'll come out with that as other search engines start to adopt it and people say, yeah, this is really cool. So I think Google will definitely be the number one, but I think it'll be a little bit different in the search algorithm a year from now. All right, question number 2 here. Will Facebook still be the social media market leader? It currently has the market share of 65%, with TikTok in second place at 35% of the market share. Now, TikTok previously only had 6% of the market share, so it went from 6% to 35% in a year. Next year at this time, is Facebook still the social media market leader?
That's a tough one. I'm gonna lean towards no.
You're going to lean towards no?
I'm gonna lean towards no because it continues to have internal struggles that doesn't look like it's going to go away.
Wow. See, I thought for sure you'd say yes on this one. I agree with you, too. No. I think TikTok...
I said I'm leaning there.
Okay.
I didn't say I'm...
Well,
I'm
that counts as it. I think TikTok will overtake it as a social media platform.
Well, I don't know if TikTok will overtake it, but I just kind of think we've seen the
peak of Facebook.
The peak of Facebook.
Yep, I totally agree. Okay, all right. Next question. Will Twitter still be owned by Elon Musk?
Yeah.
What do you say, yes?
Yeah, I think.
I'm going to ask Odie on this one. Odie, grab the mic here. Do you think Elon Musk is still going to own Twitter a year from today?
A year from today?
A year from today.
Yeah, I don't think anyone wants to buy it.
See, I say no. I think
but who would be dumb enough to buy it?
I think Microsoft or a larger company could come on in and buy
and fix it.
Yep, and then put it as a part of their standard services. And there's a lot of companies out there looking for that.
Elon's not going to sell it for.
Optimist.
Well, that is very optimistic. Yes.
And how much did he buy it for?
$44 million.
$44 million.
Million or billion?
Or $44 billion.
Looking at it from that standpoint, do you really think somebody else like Microsoft is going to buy that?
I don't think so.
When they've got Xbox already?
I don't know. I think somebody else may buy it from him. I don't think he owns it if he keeps on making it look bad. All right. Here we go. Here's my next question. Will Nintendo be the leader in the handheld gaming market?
Yes.
Wow, yeah, she was quick on that.
I think so. I think she's
yes?
correct. Yep.
I say no. I think NVIDIA or somebody else will overpass them with a device kind of like the Steam Deck.
Who is NVIDIA?
NVIDIA is a graphics company. They have so many chips out there right now that they could easily come on up with. They're the ones that you used for all your Bitcoin mining machines. When anybody wants to make money in that, they use an NVIDIA.
You think the Steam Deck's going to do it?
No, I don't think Steam. I think Valve's Steam Deck is going to just show that the market's available. But here's why I think Nintendo will not be in the leader of the gaming market for this next question. Who's going to be the leader in augmented reality or virtual reality?
Apple?
Apple? Okay, that's a good guess. And why do you say Apple?
Because you've been talking about it for nonstop for the last 3 weeks.
You're right. Okay, you got that. That's a very good chance. I actually think Nintendo is going to break into this market. I think they have
VR?
Yes.
I don't think they are.
In augmented reality and VR both.
Well, they already have some augmented reality stuff.
They have, look at Pokemon Go.
Yeah,
right? That was an augmented reality game that you were
reality.
traveling around. So they understand this space. If there's anybody to come out with a hardware device that we would accept and say, yeah, we'll give it a shot. I think if Nintendo comes out with it, we would buy it as a consumer and use it as a thing. I think Apple's close in there. I will say this. I don't think Facebook is going to be the leader in augmented reality or virtual reality at all.
Yeah, I think Facebook is
That's you're pondering that question, aren't you?
Swirling around the lid.
I was thinking about it because like Pokemon Go was big in 2016
Yep.
when it first came out, but has it held since then?
No, but they
Sure.
but you got to remember that they experimented with it almost 7 years
They're still
ago.
around.
True.
They're still
I mean,
updating
yeah.
it. They're still running specials.
But I don't
and
know
things
anyone
on it.
that's like, hey, you want to go play Pokemon Go versus, hey, do you want to play Mario Kart over the Switch or something?
Okay, so how about I want to go play the Mario? I want to
no.
go play the
Like-
new Nintendo
Now,
goggles.
Pokemon Go,
and I
is
put a
not
Nintendo
actually
goggle in, and I
Nintendo,
get
it's
to play
licensed
all
by
my
Nintendo,
games. I
right?
get to
I
have
just don't
augmented
think
reality.
we're ready for VR yet.
Oof.
Like, I do think Apple will come in and people are going to buy because it is Apple, but I
Yeah,
don't think it's
at
going to
its
kick off.
$999 price point. 'cause
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
they're always coming at. Yep.
I don't think, yeah.
Okay, I think Nintendo. Here you go.
No.
Maybe I'm a couple years ahead. I'm going to keep on going on this one until Nintendo gets it.
Okay, we'll see.
All right,
We'll
now
see what happens next.
Okay, so now we got through a couple predictions. Now we're going to play the second part of the audio. When we come on back, you're going to start us out with some NASA questions or some space questions, and I got some other ones to take care of. So let's look at our second part of our audio. Will McDonald's or any other fast food chain have cooking robots to replace all human kitchen staff?
Yes.
Will Microsoft purchase a significant social media platform? They do not have a social media platform yet.
Will they?
Yes. In 2022.
I'm gonna say. I'll say yeah.
Okay.
I'll say they'll make a purchase.
I'll say no. I don't think they will. I think they're going to use LinkedIn as kind of their social media platform, and I think they're going to stay neutral in this. Will Apple purchase a movie studio or entertainment company?
Yeah.
So they're in the
Yes.
process right now. You say yes?
Yeah, I think they're going.
I think so, yes, too. Will self-driving cars be legalized for drive share companies?
Nope.
I would agree with you. I don't think it'll be legalized. Will artificial intelligent robots receive legal status and personal rights?
No.
I'm going to disagree with you on this.
Are you?
I'm going to disagree with you. There you go. That ends our 2022 prediction show. All right.
Seriously?
What's that? So that was kind of our predictions, right? Because if you think back at it a year, you can think about, because we were talking about all that automated McDonald's stuff that was going on. It was big in the news, right?
Well, they do have.
They don't have a full. I looked to try to
They
help
don't
you
have
out
a
there.
fully.
They do not have a restaurant that is fully utilizing. They have many objects in those, but they still have all employees that have to grab the stuff and put it together. You can't just pick it up.
Bummer.
All right. So you're going to ask questions, space questions. You're up next.
Well, you wanted to talk about NASA, right?
I did. Yep. Because
So-
NASA's a big deal for this upcoming year.
So we got a lot of stuff going on in the space industry, right?
Yep.
So one of the questions that we came up with is, do you think that NASA is going to either collaborate or hire SpaceX to assist it to rescue astronauts from, say, the International Space Station if necessary?
So that's going on right now, right? So right now there's a big question on if NASA calls up Elon Musk and says, hey, buddy, can you help us with the International Space Station, go rescue some...
Yeah, do you think that's going to happen?
Oh, man, that's a... Oof. So I'm going to say actually no. I'm going to say NASA is going to try to come up with a different way to get it. They're not going to ask for help in the private sector.
Okay, all right.
What do you think?
I think that's probably true.
Okay.
I think they're going to resist working into or utilizing the private sector, but that's why we have this private growth in the space field right now, right? Because NASA does not regularly utilize private companies.
Correct. That would be just such a big deal because they consider themselves a major, organization. Major.
They're a government agency.
Yeah, so that's a really tough.
So I'm not on the skinny on what types of contractors they use, but as far as calling up Elon or maybe tweeting him,
Yeah.
Hey, at Elon, help us with ISS. I don't know if that's going to happen.
Do you know he would love that in the seagull? Do you have another NASA question?
Yeah. Do you think NASA's going to send another trip to the moon? Send another rocket to the moon?
So I think they will. I think they're going to try to colonize it because all of a sudden you have Japan that's interested in doing that. Yeah, China that's interested in doing that. And now all of a sudden I think there's this big race to get to the moon and colonize it and have different sectors that become.
Okay, well, that's not going to happen next year.
You don't think so?
No, that was a little bit of a trick question because NASA does have a scheduled flight to the moon in 2024.
I think they're going to up it to 2023.
You think so?
I think so.
They're not going to colonize the moon, buddy.
Well, I think that
it's not going to happen this year.
I think you have to get up there so that you can then sell a quarter inch by a quarter inch on your
you can just buy
your
that
service.
on the internet.
That's right. Okay, here's my question to you. Will we see flying personal recreational vehicles hit the market this year?
No.
No. Odie says no. I say yes.
Okay.
The Jetson 1. You go Google it. Jetson 1 aircraft.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, this is like a bike. That it essentially has the ability to do it. I think the Jetson 1 is going to come on out. It's going to be available, and I think it's going to be the next version of like a Tesla type of deal that people decide to get.
Can I ask you a serious question?
Yep.
How high does it fly or hover?
It goes up to 50 feet in the air.
So is it expected to be flying at 50 feet in the air?
So on the Jetson 1, when you take a look at it, it's expected to be able to go over 10 miles at that 50 feet in the air.
Okay. With that in mind, do you really trust humans that are already just, oh my God, rude on the roadways to be up in the air and respect like airway traffic?
I think that's a whole
I don't
different.
think but that's what it would lead to, right?
Okay, now we can already get recreational vehicles.
Okay,
I mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, you did.
You can get an ultralight. You can get a gyrocopter.
And you just Googled Jetson 1, didn't you?
Yeah.
And what did you think of that?
With a flight time of 20 minutes, that's kind of like old time RC stuff. Where you charge the battery for 4 hours, then you get 20 minutes of of run time out of it. Then you can charge the battery.
And what did the speeds go to?
Top speed of 102 kilometers per hour.
Okay.
All up weight is 86 kilograms.
Okay, we can order one today.
Yeah.
But it isn't mainstream. I'm saying this is going to go mainstream. I think people are going to have these. They're going to be all around, and my prediction is that people are going to have these landing in their little houses. And,
no, that's not going to happen.
All right, we'll see. All right, will 8K TVs and broadcasts be the standard setup at the end of your holiday season of 2023? Is 8K going to be the standard? Right now, 4K is the standard. Everybody has 4K.
We're going to have 8K? I don't know.
So 8K has been in the market for about 2 years now.
That's an I don't know question.
Well, you got to say yes or no. That's
kind of like asking me if they're going to have, 5K not internet service.
5 gigs?
5 gig.
Well,
whatever.
Yeah, okay. So this is the question. 8K TVs
and
broadcast.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. This is going to take a while longer.
I say no, too. CES is all about 8K. Everything is 8K, 8K, 8K. I've been reading all the pre-done information. Everybody's 8K.
They need to knock it off. They need to just let people be okay
4K is going to be the standard. I think by the end of this year, 4K is the standard. Everybody's going to be broadcasting in 4K. Everybody's going to have 4K. TechTime Radio will be at 4K, so you can see us in our beauty.
Yeah, we gotta. What did you say? Inner beauty?
See us at our beauty. Okay. All right. Well, those are our predictions. We'll see how we do in 2024. Did they come through? Did they not come through? Do we get them right? Do we get them wrong? Who knows what will happen? But I hope I do a little bit better than you. You beat me this upcoming year.
That's because you have a problem.
What's that?
You have what's called optimism bias.
So I just think everything's rosy.
That's a little bit delusional.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. We're going to take a commercial break. We still have on the show, of course, Mike's Mesmerizing Moment, our technology fail of the week, and This Week in Technology. You're listening to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. We'll see you after the break. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, have you ever heard of turbo debt?
No, what is that? Something to get me into debt faster?
No, turbo debt is not to get you in debt faster. It's to help you get out of debt. Do you have over $10,000 in credit card, personal loans, medical, or payday loans?
Of course I have debt. That's the American way.
Au contraire, mon frere. Turbo debt will give you the option to break the debt cycle and start putting money in your pocket.
That's awesome.
Over 70% of Americans die with credit card debt. Do not let this happen to you. Turbo debt will give you an option to break the debt cycle and start putting money in your pocket.
That's awesome.
If you have over $10,000 in credit card debt and personal loans, medical or payday loans, they can help. Go to turbodebt.com/TechTime. Again, that's turbodebt.com/TechTime, all capitalized, for a free consultation today. TurboDebt is a proud sponsor of this week's episode of TechTime Radio.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right, we're going back to January 4th, 1972. Hewlett-Packard introduces the first handheld scientific calculator, the HP 35. The precision of the calculator was greater than most mainframe computers at its time. For such a technology achievement, it was named the calculator is simply derived from the fact that it has 35 buttons. Therefore, HP named it HP-35. The HP 35 calculators were carried on the Skylab 3 and Skylab 4 flights between July 1973 and February 1974. The HP 35 was developed in 2 years at a cost of approximately $1 million with 20 engineers. At the time, 3 to 5 years was a typical HP development cycle, and they exceeded that in half. One high-quality feature of the HP 35 was the ability to use its double-injected keys. Rather than printing the function of the keys on the surface, which could wear off over time, the keys were constructed with 2 colors of plastics, providing durable key top labels for the label keys. And it's actually the very first process to label. If you take a look at this whole calculator, this double process durability for keys is even used in today's industry for double printing it. So essentially just putting a label on it and having it taken care of, it was ready to go. Well, that was This Week in Technology. If you ever wanted to watch some Tech Time history with 2 years of videos and podcasts, blog information, and tons more, you can visit TechTimeRadio.com to watch our older shows or join the Tech Timers Facebook group to talk with us live all the time. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we have Marc's Mumble's Whiskey Review and our Technology Fail of the Week. We'll see you after the break. TechTime Radio is brought to you today by Nutility, the platform that makes utility management seamless by selecting your service providers, splitting a single bill amongst roommates, and then shutting off your service when it's time for you to move out. Nutility reviews your preferences and sets up all the utilities for you. This provides you with the best local provider in your service area. It's much easier than splitting up your bills between roommates. No more late Larry not being able to get to you on time to make the payments, and no more Venmo charges or PayPal charges. One place to do your billing so that everybody pays on time. Now, how can you use this great service from Nutility, you ask? Aha! Well, you can absolutely get it now and get 3 months for free. That's correct. If you go to Nutility.com, again, it kind of sounds like utility, but it's Nutility.com. Use the tech code 3, and again, that's NUTILITI.com. Get your first 3 months for free using the code TECH3.
The segment we've been waiting all week for. Marc's Whiskey Mumble.
Yeah, you know what today is?
What's that?
Fruitcake Toss Day.
What?
Fruitcake Toss Day.
Fruitcake Toss Day.
Yeah.
What is? How do you come up with a day like that?
I don't know about that because you know his. It's also J.R.R. Tolkien Day.
Oh, okay.
So if you know who J.R.R. Tolkien is,
hello.
He was born on January 3rd.
Okay.
1892. It also happens to be my second son's birthday.
Oh, well, happy birthday,
James.
James.
Yep. So you may remember from the story that Frodo toasts his Uncle Bilbo on Bilbo's birthday every year. So
that's right.
This year we're toasting the celebration of Lord of the Rings author's birthday with George Dickel Bourbon.
Dickel Bourbon.
Bourbon.
Yep.
I did a Nathan. Tennessee whiskey does, in fact, meet all the requirements to be classified as a bourbon. As of now, the Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau does not have an official designation recognizing or defining Tennessee whiskey. While the majority of George Dickel whiskeys are not officially labeled bourbon, most meet the criteria required to be called a bourbon. The release of George Dickel Bourbon marks the first ongoing national release by the company with the word bourbon on its label.
Okay.
For those looking for an easy, non-challenging couch sipper, it succeeds in that regard. Turns out
What does that mean? A couch sipper.
That means doing what we're doing with it.
Okay. All right.
You sit with it.
And you just kind of sip it and play video games or enjoy life. Okay.
Well, that's what he was doing
last night. He was busy drinking away the bourbon that we gave 2 thumbs down, and he was just talking about how great it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Turns out to be one Marc generally does not reach for and will not be purchasing another bottle. Nothing wrong with it. Just it offers little for Marc.
It offers a little to Marc, huh?
Yeah, it's not his favorite.
I kind of like it, actually.
I'm ambivalent.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, now that we got Marc's mumbles taken care of, thank you there, Mike. Let's move on to our technology fail of the week, brought to you by Elderberry Boost. Get your Elderberry Boost today at elderberry-boost.com.
We are out of time. Congratulations. You're a failure.
Oh. I failed, did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
All right, this week's fail comes to us across the pond again and is a Christmas story that Carl Chegwin wants to forget. A UK medical office mistakenly sent patients a text message with a cancer diagnosis. Carl Chedwing was getting in the holiday spirit by watching the movie The Santa Claus on Christmas Eve, when all of a sudden he got a text message that said from his UK doctor office, diagnosing him with an aggressive lung cancer disease. He sat there in shock until he was not able to show the message to his mom, who had also received the same text from an NHS no-reply number. Askern Medical Practice in Doncaster, England, mistakenly sent Christmas Eve text messages to patients saying that they had lung cancer. After realizing he wasn't the only one to receive the message, he began to question the text, wondering if it was some sort of sick joke. About 20 minutes later, though, the NHS no-reply number message says, "Please accept our sincere apologies for the previous text message sent. This has been sent in error. Our message that should have been sent was, we wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year." Chegwin said he had never received a message from his medical practice wishing him a Merry Christmas in his approximately 30 years as a patient. A spokesman from the NHS England refused to take any questions related to the incident. Chegwin said that he will not be returning to the practice after this incident.
Wow.
So you're sitting there
was drinking a little too much.
You're sitting there in your chair, relaxing, enjoying, of course, a Christmas story type of deal, and all of a sudden your text comes across your phone saying that you have cancer. That has to be probably the biggest fail I've heard of. Just think of that. You're like sitting in a good mood, and all of a sudden it says, you're going to die. Sorry. You know what? And then he doesn't know what to expect. And then his mom next to him gets the same text message. So clearly this text message had to be sent to everybody on a large distribution list. So I'm sure other people got it saying, what the heck? Sitting around. And then finally they respond to it saying, oops, Merry Christmas.
Oops, Merry Christmas.
All right. Well, that was
This would have been an April Fool's joke.
That was our TFW, our technology fail of the week. Now we're going to head out to our last commercial break. When we return, we still have Mike's mesmerizing moment, brought to us by StoriCoffee, and a possible Nathan Nugget, brought to you this week. So sit back, raise a glass. You're listening to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
How to See a Man About a Dog. It combines darkly comic short stories, powerful poems, and pulp fiction prose to create a heartbreaking and hilarious journey readers will not soon forget. Read How to See a Man About a Dog, collected writings, for free with Kindle Unlimited. Ebook available on Kindle, print copies available on Amazon The Bookpository, and more.
All right, welcome back to Tech Time. I'm your host, Nathan Mumm. Now it's time to get to our highlighted segment of the day with Mike's Mesmerizing Moment, brought to us by StoriCoffee. This is Mike's Mesmerizing Moment, presented by StoriCoffee. Visit StoriCoffee.com. All right, so here you go, NASA buff. NASA essentially put this SWOT satellite into space, which is monitoring bodies of waters to help map water masses and animals within the water masses themselves. With tons of mapping of the planet, the stuff that we have limited information of is those of rivers and lakes that are a great mystery to us still today. My question to you, with this new NASA technology up there, Mike, do you think we'll find the creatures in the water like the Loch Ness Monster or a big megalodon?
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
You don't think we're going to find these big animals that have been living there, these big dinosaurs that have been around?
No.
Why is that?
Because they don't exist.
You don't think
right
the Loch Ness Monster exists?
No,
What?
I don't.
Wow.
Wait, have you not seen what they uncovered over in Australia?
What did they uncover?
They
in Australia?
uncovered a dinosaur that is from like way back when that resembles very much Nessie.
That resembles Nessie?
Yeah.
Oh,
Have you not
okay.
seen that? They
No.
just dug it up like last week.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe they will then.
Okay.
So your information on this is
I don't really pay attention to whether or not these things exist. Megalodon does not exist. I know there's a lot of people that think Megalodon exists.
you don't
But
think
Megalodon does not exist.
Have you ever
in
seen the
our-
movie The Meg?
Yes, I like that movie.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that it translates into nonfiction.
Well, but don't you think that
Megalodon was something that lived in a time that could support Megalodon. Megalodon cannot live in a time that cannot support Megalodon.
Okay. So you don't believe in any of these, huh?
Oh, look, she's bringing up the whole Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah,
thing.
she is. She's going to have it available
Listen,
for you.
I saw it and I got so excited because it just,
I
it gives a little insight of what was happening like way beyond ago.
Yeah.
looking for cryptids is not my passion.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, you know what? That was a very mesmerizing moment there, Mike.
I'm glad we had to talk about human behavior. Maybe I should talk about why these mysteries persist.
Why do these mysteries persist?
Because they're mysteries, and people like mysteries.
I think all mysteries and mythical information comes
I
from
don't know.
background of traditions that have been there that people have seen.
I don't have
and
enough.
changed.
I know there's plenty of things that we can watch on TV. When I was a kid, I grew up watching all these unsolved mysteries.
Oh, yeah, I
programs,
love the
like
unsolved
Bigfoot and UFOs and Loch Ness Monster and all this stuff.
Yes.
And every time I watched one of these, they never revealed that there was proof that Bigfoot exists. Right? There's never proof. There's never proof. Until I got to where it's like, okay, well, yeah, when you get proof, let me know.
Well, see, if you're in the forest to find Bigfoot, all you need is a Slim Jim.
Okay. All right, there you go.
All right, were you going to say
Go
something,
get some
Odie?
Slim Jims.
All right, okay, here we go. Now we're going to move on to our Nathan Nugget.
This is your Nugget of the Week.
All right, so we talked about this.
Yeah, you got your.
So I'm going to bring this up on
Luna.
the deal. This is the Luna pet review. So this is what we ordered on Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
I had this going before the studio today, and it was zooming around the rug in here. Odie got to play with it. Mike got to play with it a little bit. This is the actual Kickstarter pet robot. It took me 4 hours to figure out how to get this sucker to work. It was the most difficult setup I've had on any technology
Really?
item. I actually did an unveiling, and I recorded it, so we're going to put it up on TechTime Radio so people can actually figure out how to get this device to work. But if you have an iPhone, forget setting it up on an iPhone. The only way I could finally get this to work was to put it on an Android device, and within literally 4 minutes, the sucker was up and going.
Oh,
it
so
was
it's not an
synchronized.
Apple. It's not an Apple product.
So the Luna Pet, which is like a pet little dog or a little cat that goes around,
Little robot.
a little robot. You love robots, don't you?
It depends on what we're using them.
Would
for.
you have one of these at your house?
That would be something that I would probably have.
Okay, and
But-
it's got a little camera, so you could go to the door. You could keep an eye on somebody.
Yeah.
I
I have a Roomba, so
So this is your next thing here. This is
Sure.
your next thing. All right. Well, now we're going to go on to our pick of the day.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings. Let's see what bubbles to the top.
I just can't believe a Kickstarter actually came through in time.
I know. That's incredible in itself.
That is. All right, we have the George Dickel Bourbon, 90 proof, $33.95. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up, and I give it a thumbs up, too. I like it.
It's good.
We gave a little bit of extra to Odie over there. You know, she kind of liked it a little bit.
I'm getting through it.
Are you getting through it?
She's buzzing right now
take little
Very
sips at a
buzzing.
time. The only job where you got to go to work, what do you do all day, Mom and Dad? Oh, I drink alcohol.
You know
and then I try to
what?
produce
They
it.
don't believe it. They still don't.
They don't?
No.
They don't believe
All I
that you
have to do
taste
is
whiskey?
All I got to do is listen to the show.
Listen.
That's right. Just get to sign up and do a 5-star review. All right. Well, it's coming to our end of our show. As we start out 2023, we're excited to be a part here. We want our listeners to enjoy the show. Remember, the most important part that you can remember for the day is the science of tomorrow starts with the technology of today. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to TechTimeRadio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/TechTimeRadio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week. Safe and fantastic week. Safe and fantastic week. Safe and fantastic week.